Right, I'm making this video because of a certain TV program, Freeze the Fear I think it's called. And I think there's probably a few things you're not yet considering with regards to the Wim Hof method. So here goes. Now first off, I have to say it's been a while since I've taken you on a little walk. I'm here with Winston. And sometimes I let Winston lead the way. Now I haven't seen the program because I don't like reality TV, but what I do like is the fact that programs like this do put the message out there. They do wake people up to the idea that there are healing mechanisms. Certainly my journey, if you're unfamiliar with my channel, my journey started in 2017 after a bang to the head and my going out into the garden in December, grabbing the garden hose, dousing myself in the cold water, immediately feeling the benefits and the effects, and that led on to me then practicing breath work, becoming qualified as a breathwork instructor, along with something called flow state methodology, clinical hypnotherapy, neurolinguistic programming. I started collecting qualifications and experience from what was really just, you could call it my own little research project. So doubtless you're feeling the effects if you've been practicing the cold therapy and the breath work. I would imagine you've got many questions. I would imagine you're still experimenting with it, and that's good. That's exactly what you should do. One thing I would say is when it comes to the breath work, don't overanalyze, don't be data driven. Just try almost immediately to tap into the inner self, to tap into your inner wisdom and feelings. Yes, it's good if you can prolong that breath hold on the exhale breath hold, but don't be concerned by it. In other words, it's not a competition, you're not competing with anybody. What you're aiming for here really, and unfortunately there are many influencers out there telling you the opposite, what you're aiming for here is to develop a practice that stays with you for life, that constantly reaps, or that you constantly reap the reward from. If you go in this sort of analytical data-driven fashion, eventually you'll probably give up because you're not going to see the same effects that you got initially. So just something to bear in mind. Now, the other thing I want you to consider here is that if you're new to alternative methods of therapy, alternative methods of healing, this is going to be your wake-up call. So make sure that you use this as a catalyst for change. It's what I did. If you're starting to feel more energy, if you're starting to feel like dormant parts of your brain are waking up, that is the breath work. If you're starting to feel psychologically more resilient, that is the cold therapy and you becoming accustomed to it, which is all, let's face it, blooming good news considering all the stuff that's going on in the world right now. We do need to toughen up. We do need to become more resilient to all the change, to all the stresses of life, from toxic people, toxic chemicals, toxic technology, and toxic news. So all of this is really good. But what I want you to do here is to not get so excited at all of these wonderful experiences that you're going through, and then in 3 months' time, when your body starts to adjust and the neurochemical changes dissipate, that you then give up. What I really want you to consider here is that this should now be your modus operandi. This should be the thing that you do every day for life. Now, my last point. The Wim Hof method practice, which of course is derived from pranayama and tumo, does put a stress on the body. Now, stress, all stress is good for us in short doses, short bouts. If you have prolonged stress, of course, that leads to chronic conditions. And equally, if you're going through a very stressful period right now of high anxiety, in other words, lots of adrenaline and cortisol and fight-flight responses, then I don't think the Wim Hof method is going to be good for you right now. And actually, you would be better off exploring other practices that work on the parasympathetic nervous system. That is the part of your body that is all to do with rest, digest, relax, calm. That's really what you want to be working on. Now, there is an argument to say that because of the resilience that you develop in breath work, combined with the cold therapy, that you'll be better able to deal with stress. I just think you have to be very careful with this, and this is where we go back to listening to your body, listening to or quickly learning what it feels like when you push the boundaries. All of these are really, really important. I want you to consider them before assuming that the Wim Hof method is the absolute panacea for everything in life. Nothing is, unfortunately. You know, breathwork is amazing, cold therapy is amazing, intermittent fasting is amazing, certain supplementation is amazing. However, not one of those things will cure you of everything. Of course, we know that, and therefore you should use this sudden awakening, as far as you experimenting with the Wim Hof method, and use it as a means to start now exploring, start delving into other alternative methods. There are lots out there, there's lots on my channel, and certainly my journey, which began with the cold therapy, then the breath work, has continued, and I don't ever want to figure this stuff out. I want to continue exploring, getting excited for all the wonderful practices that are out there. And all of those practices will aid in a strengthening of the immune system, a strengthening of the psychological, our psychological system, and it just keeps life a lot more exciting and fun. Now, as a last point, I know I said the last point was the last point, but this really is the last point. Do check out a link below if you're interested in something called Yoga Nidra. On the 8th of May, there will be a free session at 7 o'clock British Standard Time. The only way of you turning up is to register. It is free, it will be on Zoom, and it will be with my friend Lara Wharton. I put a couple of videos up of her already. You'll know her voice hopefully from the breathwork track that I've got. There's a few breathwork tracks. This one is the Soma Breath Limitless with Lara Wharton. So do check that out. Do sign up for this event. It's going to be really cool. It's just going to be an hour long. You're going to feel amazing at the end of it. If you're new to Yoga Nidra, it's a form of meditation that's incredibly powerful. Anyway, David Florence signing off. Evolution of Dave signing off. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you being here. I hope that helps. Bye for now.